record on this computer. I'm going to share the screen, and here we go. So let's do this.
Wake up. It's a new day. It's a new week. And if you choose it, it's a new life. You get to decide right now who you want to be. You get to choose in this moment how you want to show up in the world.
Believe that you're worth it. Believe that you can. Believe that you're capable of whatever you set your mind to.
Ask yourself, how would the best version of me live out this day?
Waking up an hour earlier and using that time for yourself, using that time to work on your goal, you have time. You're just spending it doing something else. Success is about choosing between what you want now and what you want most.
Imagine it in detail. See yourself eating the way the best version of you would. Staying hydrated.
If you are not taking care of your physical body, there is a 0% chance that you're going to become the version of yourself you want to be.
Working out, dressing, speaking to others, looking for blessings throughout the day, the way the best version of yourself would do it.
You are creating your reality right now.
You are the only person who is in charge of what happens next.
You've got to stop procrastinating. You've got to embrace right now, and you've got to fire yourself up to propel yourself to the future. You need to own what you do. You need to own what you do.
See yourself in detail and map out the day in your mind. If you cannot be the person you want to be right now, in this second, right now, if you can't make the decision right now, in this moment, you don't have a why that's strong enough. And if you don't have a why that's strong enough right now, you won't have a why that's strong enough on Monday. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. Don't leave today's version of you to a random chance. Choose who you want to be. Choose how you want to be. Then live today accordingly.
Oh, okay, I love that video. I love every single one of her videos so much. So just one thing, a couple things that stood up to me on that, hopefully you guys took a few little notes, little things that I just loved, was that own what you do. All of you are coaches for a reason. You're all coaches for different reasons. Some of you are coaches because you need health and fitness accountability for your own life. Some of you are health and fitness coaches on our team because you want to be able to make this your full-time job and be home. Some of you want to get out of debt. Some of you just want more friendship and sisterhood. You have to know why you're here. You have to know why you're here today, tomorrow. And like she says, if you don't have a why today, you're not going to have a why Monday. And that is it. That's everything. That's what's going to help you show up and take action for you to be able to map out your day and do what you do. So I just love that video. I listen to her stuff like almost every single day because it's so empowering for me personally with where I'm at in my life. But really quick, what we're going to do before Christy takes over is we're going to go through the list, and I want you to just say one thing that you're grateful for. Just one thing that you're grateful for in your life. It doesn't have to be professional. It can just be anything personal. But we're going to go around and just unmute yourself and just say one thing that you're grateful for, because it's really easy in life just to sometimes feel blah and like, you know, life happens and it can take over. But we have a choice as a coach. We have a choice as women to find joy in all circumstances and to be grateful because we're all so blessed to be able to be here and just to live what we love and to help other people. I mean, it's such an incredible blessing. So I'm just going to start, Jalissa, because you're at the top left corner of my eyeball right now. We're going to go through and I can just say your name or we'll go through, but just say one thing you're grateful for today. One thing. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be that your kid went pee on the potty. All I want is you to say what you're grateful for today. It doesn't matter. So go, Jalissa.
9 months postpartum, and I have made it exclusively breastfeeding so far. So I'm extremely thankful to still be breastfeeding my kid, pumping at work, that whole, ordeal. But we've made it to 9 months. So I'm grateful.
That's hard to do when you're working full time and, when you work out and you eat clean, that can always affect it too. So that's awesome.
It is.
So next, Carrington, just unmute yourself when I call your name.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, awesome. I guess I'm most grateful for you ladies. This has been a great experience so far. So I've really enjoyed just being a part of this group and the accountability and just, I don't know, just learning from you guys.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We're happy you're a part of our sisterhood too. Okay, Rebecca.
Hi guys, I'm grateful for school. Today was the first day of school, so I'm grateful for structure and routine.
That might be all of us, Rebecca. Okay, Peyton, your turn, girl.
I am grateful for my puppy. He is teaching me lots of patience, and I need it.
That's a good one. Christina.
That 3-year-old that just walked in the door. No, I'm grateful because my mom called me today and asked for to get on a program, and she is broken in every which way, but I'm grateful that she's ready to start.
That's so awesome. With family, you guys, sometimes family's like the hardest ones. You just have to keep being the example for them. So that's awesome, Christina. Catalina.
I'm grateful for being able to stay at home and do what I like, and my husband supporting me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You get to live what you love and be home. That's amazing. Gracie. She's at work.
Can you hear me? Okay. I'm grateful for this sisterhood too because I love my job as a nurse, but it makes it my life way more balanced. That I love this job and I love coaching too. So
Love it. Love it. Alyssa. Go unmute yourself.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm in bed. I'm like trying to like relax. But okay, so I was gonna say my flushable cat litter thing, which I found on Facebook for a really good deal. But I just want to say that because it's hilarious. But truthfully, like what I'm grateful for is like my kids going back to school because I just like in a nighttime finally after a whole summer of trying to get them in bed and like they just run around and like scream at each other and like wrestle. I don't know what they do up here, but they're silent right now. So I'm really grateful for that. And I didn't have to scream. I didn't have to yell at anybody. So it's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Stephanie, your turn.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm grateful for my spouse. I mean, I'm grateful for him every day, but today he washed the dishes after dinner, and that's just the best. So
that's a huge win. Mine's doing laundry right now. So. Yeah. That's a good one. Anne, can you go? I don't see you there, but I see you're there. Just not your face. Okay. Oh, you're muted. Hold on. Go ahead.
I'm grateful for the rain after today's first day of school. Just to relax and sit on my couch and listen to you guys.
That's perfect. It's a perfect, relaxing, quiet day. Love it. Danielle?
All right. Can you hear me? I'm grateful for a healthy pregnancy. The Lyft girls that get up at 5:45 to work out because I really wouldn't do it without them. And I'm also grateful for Steven's green salsa recipe.
Isn't it so good?
Because it's delicious and I eat it on everything now.
It's addicting.
So good.
The green salsa is addicting. He has a red salsa too, but the green one's my favorite. And then the mango salsa is amazing too in his recipe.
Oh, I'll have to try the mango. I didn't want to make too many salsas one time.
He makes them every week for us because I'm addicted to them. They're really good. His guacamole is amazing too, but that's way bigger than a small blue. Like the itty bitty.
Shipping it out for me.
Bridget, your turn, girl.
Okay, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this works. Okay, I am super grateful for my husband today. We had a very rough start to our first day of kindergarten with our daughter, and he was able to just kind of like really be there for her and be a good dad. And so super grateful that I have him on my side and as a part of our team and our family.
That's awesome. Kindergarten's that's hard. I had that last year. It's really hard. It's very emotional. That's for sure.
Yes.
Especially for them. It's a big transition. So yay for spouses tonight. Lots of wins there. Pamela, your turn, girl.
Hi, sorry I haven't unmuted before. I'm just grateful for all the intention and positivity you guys put into the new coach training. I'm really enjoying it.
Yay. I'm so good. By the way, I fixed some of the links. Some of the links were broken. It looked like people went in there and deleted stuff. So I actually went in and updated everything yesterday, just so you guys know. So FYI regarding that. Emily, your turn, girl.
Hello. I'm just grateful to be on my first call with you guys, my first time joining, so I can't wait to see what it's all about.
Yay! Welcome to your first call. Hopefully we won't scare you away on the first call. We're really happy to have you're here with you're Brittany's coach, right?
Yes, she's my coach. Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Welcome to our team. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Next, Rebecca. Rebecca, you already went, I think, but you're out of order for some reason. Okay. Hunter, last one, girlfriend. Maybe she can't. Can you go, Hunter? No. Okay. Oh, she said she's unmuted, but it's not working. Okay. We can't hear you. You're unmuted. Oh, wait. Try it now. Still can't hear you. Stinker. We can't hear you. You can type what you're grateful for in the chat box, and I'll read it out loud because I can't hear you. I'll tell you mine. I think mine is pretty much similar to a lot of these. Is I'm really glad my kids are going to school tomorrow because I need structure and organization, and they're driving me wild, crazy. So I'm really excited for the kids to start school, but I'm slightly sad that my son's going into middle school. I think I might cry tomorrow, but I'll be strong. So for me, I'm really happy that my kids are going to school. So is there a couple people left? She just said more people are left. I think they're moved around. Hold on. She said my laptop camera cropped out, so maybe it's linked. Who didn't? Oh wait, Stacy, your turn. Go, Stacy. Sorry, the boxes keep moving around, and I'm like following my boxes. Go, Stacy.
That's okay. I just want to say I'm grateful for my husband. He seriously is like my biggest fan, my biggest cheerleader, and he like believes in everything that I do. So I'm really grateful for him.
Yeah, there's lots of good spouses on here tonight. I love it. Lots of spouses. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Jess. Jess, not Jessie. Jessie, you'll be after Jess.
I am very grateful, just like Alyssa, for my kiddos to start school. Very excited.
And you're not a bad mom for wanting your kids to go to school.
Yes.
Seriously, you're not. Oh, okay, Jessie, your turn, girl.
Where's the unmute button? I'm same thing. School starting tomorrow here. I'm excited about that. We got early bedtimes tonight. We got dinner done. And I'm grateful for all of the I'm learning and I'm for it, and I got questions every day. It's just awesome. So that's what I'm grateful for. All of you guys.
I love it. I love it. I love you guys too. You're the best. Next, Candace.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Good weather. Like, it is so hot here and with so many fires and smoke, and today was a very good day, so I'm just thankful for good weather.
That's a good one. Good weather is a good one because we have awful weather here. So that's a really good one. Where are you at again, Candace?
What?
Where are you at again? What state?
In Wyoming.
Okay. Okay. I've never been there. Okay, next is, Christy. I'll let you go, Christy, before you kick it off. Is there anyone else that didn't get to go? I don't want to miss anyone. I know Hunter didn't get to go. I don't want to miss anyone because my boxes are moving around like tic-tac-toe. Everyone go? Okay, perfect. I loved it. So this is something I'm going to incorporate like on all of our trainings, just something fun like this, because I just want us to really like recognize how much we have to be grateful for, from breastfeeding to spouses who help us clean dishes, to being able to stay home with our babies, to being able to inspire our family to get healthy, to kids going to school for the next 10 months, all of those exciting things that we're so blessed to have in our life. And it's easy to sometimes not really look at them. So just something I want to take time to do. And you guys can hear and see that we have so much to be thankful for. Really so blessed. And we get to live it together, which is the best part, is we get to live these blessings with one another. And that's probably my favorite part of our sisterhood. So now we're going to have Christy take it over because I want her to have plenty of time to share. So as you guys know, Instagram is like the jam right now. Everyone loves Instagram. Instagram is fabulous for cold market. It is absolutely, oh, and Bridget said, I'm thankful for a rest day tomorrow. Me too. I'm so thankful for a rest day tomorrow. I was going to go run, but I'm like, oh, I'm really sore. I think I might rest tomorrow. But, you know, Instagram's really, really popular right now. And if you notice from just even our Coach Family page, we have people sharing Instagram tips and tricks and filters and stuff. I know I shared like a before and after picture of my Instagram, how much it's changed. I know Alyssa has showed pictures, and I did a training a couple weeks ago, and I was going through some of my coach's stuff, and Christy Gomez, she's going to share tonight, I came across her page and I was like, oh my gosh, you have like 1,000 likes on your pictures. Like, what the heck are you doing? And of course, like I stalked her page and like I went through and I, you know, her and I chatted back and forth, and I was like, okay, you went from like 200 likes to like 800 to 1,000 likes. And I was like, what the heck are you doing? You know, what's going on? And so I asked her, I was like, would you mind sharing on our team call and just talking about like, what have you done to have Instagram growth? And Christy and I did actually meet on Instagram. We connected on there and I invited her and we chatted for a year. And also, if you look at Christy's page, she'll give you more of her story. She doesn't share a lot on not on Facebook. She doesn't share a lot on Facebook. She shares more on Instagram if you look at both of her pages. But she'll also give you some insight behind, you know, her sharing and what she does. But I'm really excited because Christy is amazing and I love her so much. She's been a coach for I think right around a year now. She is a wife, she is a mama to a little boy, and she is a personal trainer. She's a 1-star diamond qualifying coach, which is incredible. Yay! She is halfway through her qualification. She'll earn her spot to new leadership in Los Angeles in February, which all of you can earn your spot to. So she is an incredible leader, one of my incredible PS coaches, and I'm just really excited for her to share with all of you. So I'm going to let her go into more depth about who she is, kind of how it's all evolved for her, and she's going to give you all of her Instagram points because I'm ready to take notes. I'm ready to grow my Instagram even more. So take it over, Christy.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, good. I had my headphones in, but then I realized when you saw me, you would see like my phone number pop up, which is not as fun to watch. So I'm glad you can hear me. And also, I have the worst light. This is beautiful during the day, but I have literally a spotlight on my face. Otherwise, I look like an Oompa Loompa. So instead of looking orange, I look like a ghost. So that's what you get. I'm also, for the record, grateful for today was, so I lost my job a couple weeks ago, which I'll tell you about in a minute, but I just made the decision to stay home and take care of Owen, my son, who is 10 months old. And we got to go to Gymboree today together. And I remember just, you know, sitting and looking, and I'm like, oh, this is such a cool moment, because before, you know, working the 9 to 5 and traveling a lot, I might have missed that time. So he's just kind of starting to learn how to walk, and he was hanging on to things and talking about stuff in his own baby language. So it was really fun. So that's what I'm grateful for, the chance to do that. So, but yeah, so a little bit about me. So yesterday was my 1-year anniversary with Beachbody, which is really exciting. And I actually joined when I was 9 months pregnant, which is kind of weird because I had waited for pretty much 2 years to say yes to Beachbody. And I decided that a really good time to join was, you know, a month before I had my kid. But so a little further back, so I moved to Florida in 2007, and I moved for Best Buy. So Best Buy was my career forever. Like I said, I just left, but I was with them for almost 18 years. So it was pretty much like right out of high school. That was my main career, and they were really good to me. I can't say enough good things about them, but it took up a lot of my time, and from time to time, it was a very stressful job. And that stress got me into running at one point once I moved to Florida. So from running, I heard that CrossFit really helps with your strength. So I don't know what kind of runner I thought I was going to be, but apparently I had lofty goals. And I said, I need CrossFit to help me get stronger, and ended up falling in love with CrossFit. So CrossFit turned into something I even thought maybe about owning a gym. And either way, it's kind of sparked my love for fitness. And then I thought, well, since I have this love for fitness, since I have a full-time job, at that point I didn't have Owen, and I thought, maybe I can be a blogger, and I can be like, if you guys know Paleo MG, she was my favorite because I was a CrossFitter, so obviously I was, strict paleo, and she was my goals. Like I wanted to be just like her. And it's really hard to be a blogger. I don't know if you guys, if there's any bloggers in the group, but it ain't easy. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I really don't like writing that much. So blogging was out, but with my blog came my Imperfectly Healthy Instagram. And I decided that I was going to see what I could do with that, because what I found was, as I was getting more into fitness and more into nutrition, I was becoming that person that was that go-to person for people. So when they wanted, healthy snacks to take with when they traveled, or, something hurts on their body, what kind of stretches can they do, or easy workouts for the road, or whatever it was, since I was traveling, I became that person. So I thought there's probably more people that might need my help, or might want to ask questions, or even, people that I can relate to a little bit better. So Imperfectly Healthy was born. Now, if you know what you know about Beachbody so far, you know that Imperfectly Healthy was a Beachbody magnet. So it was like people were just coming out of the woodwork to tell me how great I would be as a coach. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back, because at that point, I had probably 200 followers. Like there wasn't anything special about my account except for I loved food, I loved fitness, and they were everywhere. And I had only known about Beachbody that I had a friend in high school that became a Beachbody coach, I think back in probably 2009, 2010. And the only thing I remember her doing is selling packages. Like I can visually see, it was like P90X, this is a package you get, these DVDs and whatever. And I'm like, I want no part of that, because that's just what I had in my head, what I had known. And so it was a hard no. And I was nice to every Beachbody coach except for one, because she was really annoying, but everybody else I was really nice to. And I just nicely turned them down. I even nicely turned down Allie probably about 1,000 times. And no, but honestly, like it was every couple of months she would just say, hey, Christy, I like your donut picture. You should be a coach. And I'm like, no. And then we just go back and forth. And eventually she caught me at the right time. And that's why I even think about it now. If you know you have somebody out there that is going to be your coach, and that is somebody who would just kill at it, I don't care how many times they say no, you got to keep on them, because I have a lot of Beachbody coaches before Allie that could have snatched me up, but it just wasn't the right place, right time. And she was right there when it was. So just a side note to self. But so she says, Christy, you got to do this. And finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm 9 months pregnant. I had just stopped coaching at Cross. I was an Orange Theory coach as well, which I didn't mention before. But so at that point, I had a full-time job. I was super pregnant. I was coaching CrossFit. I was coaching Orange Theory. And I was getting to the point where it was really hard for me to physically do the stuff I wanted to do. I was really tired. And it was just time to just not do that anymore. So I quit those other 2 jobs, kept my full-time job, and said to Allie, yes, let's do it. So 9 months in, we start, and I really didn't do anything with the business probably till it was like late October, but I spent August and September learning the business, doing a ton of research, watching every YouTube video that exists, any kind of info I could get, I got my hands on, I would get, and obviously talked to Allie a ton. So then late October, I kind of kicked off my business. So now here I am with Imperfectly Healthy, a year into Beachbody coaching. And I will tell you, I probably spent maybe 1 to 2 hours a week while I was pregnant and right after I had Owen on Beachbody. even if you are going through these times in your life where you can only do a little, my recommendation would be to do a little, because I can tell you on the flip side of that, any transformation you have, life change, and this is getting a little off topic with my Instagram, but it's gold. If you can use it for later, people are watching you before, they want to see what your after is. It's just human nature. So if you have something happening, don't stop doing your stuff while, I know it's hard to say because you're pregnant and you're tired and all that stuff. I get it. I was there, but don't stop. Use that time. Even just little steps really count, because it will help you later on. It really helped my Imperfectly Healthy, and it helped my business for sure. Is that a good intro, Allie? Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. I have another disclaimer. So when Allie originally asked me to talk about this, I have been working on this. So I started Imperfectly Healthy in December of 2015. It took me until December of this past year, 2017, to actually create some kind of movement with my Instagram. So this is like newish, and I want you to know that to get to like 1,500 followers took me forever. So I know what not to do, and I'm starting to figure out what works, and I feel like I kind of caught a headwind on something, and I'm getting momentum from it. And so not everything I say, I can't promise you it's going to work. It's worked for me, and I'll give you some of the tips and things that I've done that I can tell a marked difference between what happened before and what's happening now. But the Instagram algorithm is one of those mysterious things where you're kind of just constantly trying to figure it out and see what works. I do, at the end, I'm going to give you some resources too. So I spend a ton of time listening to podcasts every chance I get to learn more about what the experts have to say about this stuff. So I have invested a lot of time and energy, and I will give you a list of probably, I think, like 5 or 6 that I listen to that really help me. So first thing that I have learned, and this is going to be, this was tough for me, was when I was going into this, I had a specific kind of person that I wanted to reach. So I'm going for fit person. I do a lot of food on my Instagram still. So I was going for paleo people for a long time, gluten-free people for a long time. And I had very specific people I wanted to reach. And I think in a lot of the trainings that we do, that is what we are advised to do, because you're looking for your people. This is going to I want you to just think open-minded about this, because you're working with an algorithm that is not going to, you aren't going to be able to specifically find your people if you go out and hunt for them. So what I'm trying to say is you're going to have to follow some guys. And that was weird for me, and it might not be weird for you guys, but you're going to have to be flexible and diverse about the people you follow. And that was one of the things I changed, and I've learned that the more restricted you are on your followers, the less you will grow. You need the activity, you need the people following you back, you need to be out and talking to people and friending people and liking things on their pages to get Instagram to see that more people should see your stuff based on you being an active member of the community. They want you to spend more time on Instagram, and they want other people to spend more time on Instagram. So the more things that you do to get other people to stay on, the more they're going to want you to stay on. The more friends you have, the more they're going to push your stuff out into the world. So the more activity and likes you get on a post or on your page, you'll see yourself show up on the search page, the main one that gives you all of those highlights. That is harder to do. I've only done it a couple times, but you can see a marked difference between how much engagement I had on posts that did show up in that page, which the one that Allie did. And there's another one on my page that did, and you can see so many more people were able to see it than the ones that were not. So, but you can't necessarily control that, but I'm going to give you some things that you can control. So when I search for new friends and I friend request people, this is how I do it personally. I'm not very structured about this, so I'm just going to tell you what I do, and you can take what I do and see if it's going to work for you. I will go into a hashtag. So for instance, I like food posts. I have 3 things that if you go to my profile, you know nothing about me, that you'll see off the bat. So you don't have to do any kind of digging. You pull it up. First things you see, you'll see Owen, so you know that I'm a mom. You'll see food bowls, so I have food show up on my main page all the time, and you'll see that I'm into fitness at some point, some kind of fitness. Either I like to wear leggings a lot or I work out. It's one or the other. So those three things are important to me. So I go and find people that I think would also be interested in my stuff, but I don't discriminate. So like today, I went onto the search page and I put in the hashtag #TheFeedFeed. And it's a popular food hashtag. You can put in whatever one you like. If you don't know hashtags or don't know the ones that are different, I wouldn't recommend you put in hashtag food. You might want to be a little more specific, but you also don't want to do like hashtag Stan's Donuts, you know, which is a popular Chicago donut place, which I really love. So you want to be a little more broad, so you're going to have a lot of options to choose from. So if you don't know hashtags, go onto Google, search popular food hashtags, and you'll come up with some. So you take feed, and go into the people that follow them. Go in, I found a picture. So there's somebody who hashtag feed, and the picture is of toast. And I hashtag and put stuff about my toast and my breakfast almost every day. So you'll see my egg cups, you'll see my toast every day. So I was like, oh, toast, perfect. So I go into her profile, and she's the only one that I'm going to really interact with. So I liked her toast. I liked a couple more of her stuff, and I made a couple comments. And then from her people, then I went into her followers and liked 25 people. 25 people. I wasn't picky about it. I didn't go through and look at who's what. I didn't go through, and the only thing I looked at is, and this is like neither here nor there, I guess, but if they have a really crazy name where it could potentially be somebody who is not from the United States, that is the only person I would skip over. So because obviously we can only help people that are, we have limited areas we can help people. So if it's really obvious that they're not from the United States, then I won't pick them. But even if it's a company, even if it's somebody like some jacked dude, like I don't care, I go through and like them. Once I do that, I will go through and if I like the person that I originally talked to, I'll go through and save their post and then go revisit it later. And I'll go to a post of their friends and do the same thing. And so I kind of create a web around certain people that brings more people my way. So another for instance would be, I do this with my friends as well. I don't ever like my direct friends, which I just think is kind of weird. I don't know if there's any kind of rhyme or reason to that, but I'll go into for instance, my friend Melissa is a photographer. She is not a fitness person at all. She doesn't really attract fitness type people. Photography is not one of my top 3 things that you would see. My page actually isn't the prettiest Instagram page that ever existed. So that's aesthetics is not my thing. But I'll go into a friend of hers and then do the same thing. So what I'm kind of doing is, I guess a web is really the best way to say it. I'm creating webs of people that can potentially see my stuff through being connected to other people. Does that make sense? Still with me so far? Yeah, okay. I don't get wrapped up in the amount of people I'm following. Right now, I think I'm following 6,500. I get capped out at 7,500. I've been really close to 7,000. The only thing I do is go back in and I do clean maybe like every couple of weeks when it starts to really bother me how high up I am with my following, then I will go back in and clean it up. So I'm sorry, I was looking over here. Like I'm looking at everybody and I'm not looking at myself. So I'm probably talking to nobody. So I would go back in, clean out my stuff and just bring it down a little bit. What I'm getting to right now is the amount of people I'm following most of the people that are following me back. When I go in and clean, the number is getting less and less. So eventually once you get to 7,500, you got to make some tough decisions because you can't follow more than that. But to this point, it doesn't matter. I know a lot of us get caught up in that because it doesn't look good, or, it kind of shows that you're, I don't know, whatever the reasons are. But to me, actually, when I was trying to grow my Instagram back in the day, the people that had a higher number of following usually were the ones that would follow you back. But if you go and like a page that has 10,000 likes, but they only have 300 followers, you have a pretty good idea that they're not going to follow you back. So I actually do think that keeping my following number high helps people want to follow me because they know I'm not just going to take them on and then delete them from my end of the friendship. So go find a hashtag that works for you. Off of that hashtag, find a picture that you feel could represent you. Go to those followers of that person, that picture that represents you, and 25, if you really like them and you're feeling good about it, you can go up to 50, and then engage with that profile, save it, and then do it again. I'll probably do it 2 or 3 times. I usually try to find people that I actually genuinely do like, though, somebody, because if I don't really like them and I'm just kind of doing it to do it, sometimes when Owen's up late or he's not sleeping, I'll do it and just, I'm tired, so I'm not really thinking about it. But most of the time I do it with purpose to go back and re-interact with them and try out, move my webs around a little bit. If I have never had an issue with getting blocked, ever. I don't ever do more than 50, and I got that number off of the Cleaner app. So if you go in, and if you've ever done night mode, and sometimes I'll clean up to 1,500 or 2,000 people a night that aren't following me back. I'll go in and set up the Cleaner, and it says you can take actions, 50 actions every 90 seconds. And it won't flag anything. Sometimes we'll do a random 10-second delay so that Instagram doesn't pick anything up. But that was where I got the number of 50 follows before you get in trouble or Instagram tries to slow you down. Allie, do you want me to take questions while I'm doing this, or do you want me to wait till the end?
I have a question. I'm taking notes. Okay, maybe this will answer someone else's question. Okay, so you said you do 25. The 25, so when you find your person, you find the toast picture. I'm just calling it the toast picture, okay? When you do the toast picture, when you go and look at their followers, are you just liking 25, or are you liking and following the 25?
I'm not liking any. I don't like anybody. I just follow them.
So you go into that one person, here's your toast picture, you like that, and then you go find 25 of their followers and you just follow them all, and that's it. Sure. Okay. Yep. But you do follow and you comment on the toast picture, that person. Yes. Okay. Yes. And then you just do the same thing. You find one of the toast people. It's funny, I'm calling it the toast person.
No, it's good. It's good. It's very relatable.
Perfect analogy. We're all going to remember how to do this now. So then you go into the toast person's followers and you go to one of them and then you find 25. So that's where you're creating the web. Okay.
Yep.
So it's kind of similar. I will say what I say to some of my girls about Facebook is you find a challenger, you go into your challenger's friends and you look through their friends and you add their friends because it creates the web of connections. And when you tag someone, it shows up on their page, even though they don't know that they know you somehow. So it's like you said, the web of connection. So I like that. Okay. Yeah. And one more. So you do 25 to 50 new follows a day, every day?
No.
So how many times a week do you think you do this?
I would say about 500 a week altogether.
Okay.
That's what I try to get to. But what I found is it's usually about 500 follows gets me about 100 likes. Or 100 follows in return. But what that also does is even the people that I didn't go and follow, I feel like that gets me probably 50 or so other additional follows. Like people that are just seeing my stuff, however they find it. And that has helped me get up that number.
Yeah. It's one of those things too with the follower ratio. It's one of those things because I just did an unfollow on Cleaner and I unfollowed 638 people because they don't follow me. So it's one of those things you got to figure out what works for you. Maybe like what works best for you. But I believe that makes a lot of sense though. I like what you said because people will want to follow you if they know you're going to stay following them. Because Instagram is all about give. It's a very give relationship on Instagram. If you want engagement, you got to give it. If you want to follow, you got to give a follow. And I know it's happened to me. It's probably happened to you guys, like the auto bots, where I've had people follow, or they follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow. And I'm like, why the heck are you following me and unfollowing me so much? And they're like, oh, that's my auto bot. And it looks bad. It does look bad when you do it that much. So I like that you don't do that.
No, I was just thinking, that was a really good point too, because back when I was trying to up my following, I bought one of those services where you pay $30 a month and they find you people. It didn't do anything for my engagement. It didn't do anything for my likes. It didn't change anything. And So it was a waste of time because, like you said, if they're not following you or they're not liking your stuff and they're not engaged in your posts, it's never going to help your business, nor is it going to help. I mean, you're going to end up being those people with, 30,000 followers and you get 100 likes on your post. It's just not going to get you the traction that you want. So it's a waste of time, in my opinion.
Anyone else have questions before she moves on? No?
I do friend request private people too. And I've actually had really good luck friend requesting private people. The only bad part that I've seen of it is because you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. I have friend requested a couple creepy private people unintentionally. So I have had to block a couple of people, but it was minimal. I say probably like 10 people altogether that have been really just, they gotta go. But the private people I feel like are almost they give you a little more loyalty than average public person, because you're special, like they're letting you into their world. And those people I've connected with a ton for, and again, I don't keep track, like I don't know, they were private, they accepted me, I don't keep track of that. But I have, after the fact, realized that I've gotten some private people that have joined into my challenge groups too. So there's people that I would never even have interacted with if I didn't do that. So let me just see my notes here, I'm sorry. So
I've invited private people. I think Stephanie Sampson, were you private until you became a coach on Instagram? Were you private, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was.
Okay. Yeah. I messaged Stephanie and she was private and she's here. So,
yeah.
I mean, you have to roll the dice because there's been times where I've messaged people that are private and they're like, oh, I'm a Beachbody coach. I'm like, well, why is your account private? You should make that thing public if you're a Beachbody coach.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can, like, you never know. Like, private people are just private people. And then you just got to get them to become a coach and then they'll go public. Stephanie.
My personal Instagram's private, and that's the reason why I created Imperfectly Healthy, so that you couldn't see what I was posting in my own stuff. And then I was like, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So hashtags on my posts, I do not really care. I do 30 every time because I do think that it's important. But if you guys aren't business, if you don't have a business account on Instagram, you have to do it because the analytics from it is super duper helpful. You can see when you do it, you can see in the top right hand corner, there's the analytics button, and you can see where your people are finding your stuff. So for instance, for me, like I said, my 3 things are usually either fitness, Owen, or food. So most of the time my food posts do really well where people are seeing my stuff through my hashtags. Owen stuff, for whatever reason, his stuff never shows up in hashtags, which I would think it would, but the hashtags don't really matter. I could definitely cycle through, find ones that worked. I haven't gone and done that. It just hasn't been something I've put effort into. But for me, I don't get super hung up in the hashtags. I use the Plan app, which has been really nice because it tells me what sets of hashtags has gotten me the most bang for my buck. So I like things that just make things simple. And I know there's a lot of different apps. There's like Planner, Plan, Later, all these different things that you can go in and it's kind of like a one-stop shop. But Plan for me has been a super lifesaver for this because I can lay out my stuff so I can see what looks good where. It gives you the colors off of your last, I think it's like 12 posts, maybe more, but it tells you what colors you're working with. So if you're looking on making your stuff super pretty, it does the work for you. It tells you your spike in followers, when it was, or if you've gained any followers, it tells you your likes, your hashtags. So I think it's $5, it's 5 or 6. I don't think it's free for the version that I'm using, but it's just one time. It's not like a monthly thing. And it is totally worth it to invest in it because it has made my life a lot easier. But
is that Plan app like PLAN app?
PLANN.
Okay.
Just that. It's like blue with white letters.
Okay.
Let's see what else I have. Okay, so the hashtags I don't really worry about. But what I do is So if you see my posts, there's two things that I've done on this. And if you're looking at my stuff, my Instagram is imperfectly_healthy. So if you want to see what I'm actually talking about. Right now, I have a post on there from a 5K that we did on Saturday. It is a cool picture, but it does not look good in my feed. And I am a firm believer in one post a day. I don't like doing more than that for a couple reasons. One, content is hard to come up with, in my personal opinion. It is like another part-time job, especially if you want it to look really good and aesthetically pleasing. So I don't want to use my content more than once a day. Selfies are not my brand for what I see for my page. So for me, if I'm not taking pictures of my face, then you have to find somebody else to take pictures of. And Owen's super cute. So it's kind of a lot of Owen selfies, but you know, I do like to switch it up and to see different things on my page. So for reason number one, I only post once a day for that. Reason number two, I heard a stat recently that 70% of people, you guys can tell me if this is true for you as well, 70% of people spend the majority of their time in Instagram stories versus scrolling through their feed. If you spend more time in your stories than on your feed, can you raise your hand for me? I just want to know. Yeah, so it's like, that's like 70% of you. See, that was a good study. That was right on. So, so I don't, obviously people are still looking at it. So I'm not an idiot. You know, I'm not like, oh, screw it. It doesn't really matter. Of course it matters. It's your feed. It's your page. People are they're going to go back and look at it, and it's, you know, going to be your brand. But I don't get super hyped up over that, because the majority of people that I get that are helping my business are coming from my stories. So I have tried posts where I am doing, you know, the flat out, like lift 4, for instance, and I'll talk about all of the reasons why they should do it, how great it is, how short the workouts are, etc. And like drop an emoji below, or send me a message, or some kind of call to action, or I do a health assessment. So I'll say, you can fill out my health assessment. I probably, out of the posts I've done, I maybe have gotten 5, maybe 10 people off of those posts. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know if it's my people, maybe it's my crappy posts, I don't know. But either way, it's not working for me. So I don't do call to actions in my posts very often. The only one that I'm starting to do more of is coaching, because I feel like it is, it's a different, it's not like a either you do or you don't. It's kind of like a introductory, oh, this might be cool. It's a much slower pace than somebody saying, hey, you need this at this time by August 1st, because we got to get started. It just doesn't work for me in my feed. But I do a lot of that in my stories. So when I do post in my feed, I'm trying to get people back into my stories to see that, and vice versa. So today I posted the picture of Owen in his stroller, and I have it in my feed. Immediately after I post that from my feed, I use a little airplane guy next to the, when you pull up the picture, you can see a little airplane. The first thing that should come up should say, send to your story, or add post to your story. And then when you send it to your story that way, it'll come up as a link that you can click. So I use a GIF that says tap here, and I put that on my picture, so that way people can know if they tap here, it comes up and it says see post, and then you click on see post and takes them back to my page. So I want to make it as easy as possible to get engagement on both my feed and my stories, because as soon as it comes up, it's going to be in other people's feeds if I'm engaged in Instagram at that moment too. So that to me is where the majority of my time is spent, or best spent, and is another reason why I don't want to post too many times, because from my research that I've done and from the things that people have said, they say to stay on Instagram after you post 30 minutes to an hour and interact with people in your feed, interact with people that are commenting on your posts, people that are liking your post. And depending on how many likes and comments you get, that may be easy, that may be difficult, but you want to do as much interaction in that short time span as possible, because the more interaction you have, people, Instagram saying, oh, this post must be really great. Let me move this into more people's feeds. Or best case scenario, I'm going to move this into the search page, then everybody can see you, which is like, that's goals. That's what you always want your post to do, because the more eyes that are on it, the more likes you get. And it's like a nice revolving cycle of people seeing your stuff. So once you post, you have to go interact. It's super duper important to the engagement on your post, and then just in general. Any questions on that?
Go ahead, Peyton.
So you were saying that you should engage with your post. What if you're not getting comment? Like, what if people are just liking it? What should you do with those?
I just get active, period, while I'm waiting. So I go back into my feed, I scroll, and just start talking to people. Like, I try to spark conversations so that it gets them back to me. I actually I don't get a ton of comments on my stuff, at least not initially, not off the bat, where they're like, great stuff, let's talk about it. You know, that would be ideal. But no, so I just try to create as much stuff happening as possible at the time.
Okay.
I have a question. Hold on, let me scroll because I like to look at your face. Okay. So you said something, you went really fast, and there was like this point when you said something about an airplane, and then there was like a link.
Sorry. Yeah.
Can you repeat that again? Because I didn't follow what you were saying. I just it sounded like a really neat technique that I haven't done before, but I just want to be clear on what it was exactly.
Yes.
Christy, can you screen share on your phone, or do you want me to show them what you're talking about?
How do I screen share on my phone?
Do you have an iPhone X?
I do.
Okay, so you're gonna go to share screen, okay, on the computer. Look on Zoom.
I'm like, I don't see it. Okay, share screen.
Go to share screen, okay, and then make sure your settings on your phone are on make sure you have Wi-Fi, because you gotta have Wi-Fi. And then go from the top of your phone here, top right, and swipe to the left corner. And then your main screen's gonna come up like this. Do you see my main screen? See the screen on my X?
Yep.
And then it's gonna say screen mirroring. Click that. And then make sure that on your Zoom, it's gonna say, would you like to connect with your phone? Do you see where it says on the Zoom? Look on the Zoom screen.
Yep.
And it says share. Can you say share to iPhone?
Nope.
No.
You go ahead if you can do it, if that's fine.
Okay, let me show you what she's talking about, because you guys might know already, but airplane's kind of confusing. Okay, so iPad. So it's going to say iPhone/iPad AirPlay, Christy, just so you know, on your Zoom. It's going to say that on your Zoom when you click screen share. And then do you see it now?
Yeah, it just needed to
Okay, there you go. So then on your phone now, swipe it from the top right to the bottom left, click screen. You see it now? Right top to the bottom left. It'll say
that's cool.
Yeah, you got it? Okay.
Yep. Look at that. That is so fancy. Okay. That's my adorable son. Shameless plug. Okay. So this button right here. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. So
yes.
Can you see my mouse?
Yep, we can see it.
Cool. Yep. So this little guy right here, you're going to click that, and it should say add post to your story. So you're going to do that, and this is how it's going to come up. So you can either click on this, you can touch the picture, and it will give you a little bit of your post. Or I like to keep it like this, and I have this in my stories right now, but I put something like, how does this keep happening? Which is about Owen losing all the stuff. Like, he lost Crocs. He kicked off his Crocs on our last walk, and they're gone. It made me crazy, but he's just so cute, so I love him. But then I put something that's a curiosity something on my post to try to get them to come back on it. And then I'll do something like, if I go into my gifts and I do tap here, this is my favorite one. I like it because it, gets them to actually do it, which these aren't it, but just for sake of argument, something like this. And then if they actually tap it, which you can't do right now, but if they do tap there, it'll come up with a little thing right here that will say see post, and you can click on the post and it will take you right to this post, just like you saw. So it'll come right to this.
Christy, you can go to your stories and show them your stories.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so this is not going to make a lot of sense because you're in the middle of a story, but somebody yelled at me drinking a Spindrift and told me that it was beer and I shouldn't have it out. Well, so you can see all this stuff. Okay, so do you want to see this out? Look, it was me and Jimbo today. Okay, so this is what it was. So this is what I put, and then the tap here on his leg, and then new post. So if you tap here, see how it says see post, and then I click on see post, and here we go. Here we are. So this is, let me show you what I was talking about too with the analytics while I'm on this. So this button right here, which I don't know if you guys can see, I have your pictures above my stuff, but it's this top button, top right-hand side. It will tell you what you're actually working with, how many people saw your stuff, it broken down by post, and who your audience is and where they're from, how old they are. Like right now, I'm 40% almost guys on my page and 64% women. This usually comes up, there we go. This usually comes up with what days are best. Maybe Tuesdays are just weird, but it tells you what times to post to based on when your followers are most active. And this really does work. Like my best time is kind of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the posts that I do are around that time do really well. But this is the benefit of having the business account.
Awesome. Mine's the same way. I tried to post in the morning and it's duds. I can't more like, and that my Instagram is literally between 3 to 6. And then there's some days that I have 9 p.m. are my highest time. And I've tried to post mornings and it's just a dud. Like, I mean, and I post the same graphic at nighttime and I get like double the amount of stuff.
It's true.
That's the one I posted right there on our page saying, how did you do this?
Yeah, this is, so this, if you look down here, when you see from other, that was this. So this is like when they pull it up from you being in their feed, when they go to your profile, specifically when they pull you up from hashtags, and then from other is when you get shared to somebody else. So if you get yourself on the big screen, you'll see that number go up. Typically from other for me is like literally like 20. So that's not usually a big number. It will tell you where you're getting people from. So this is really good if you do want to invest some time in hashtags or doing something differently. You have more info right here for free. So make your business account if you haven't yet.
Love it. Love it.
I've also tried promoting stuff. I wouldn't recommend it. That's just me, but.
I've tried promoting stuff and I've lost money.
Yeah, I did too. Every time it hasn't done anything for me. So when the research I did said that you should, why is this doing that?
You gotta unshare and click it off your screen. Just that part.
I'm off on my phone though.
Okay, hold on. That's weird.
Oh, stop sharing. Okay, hold on.
There you go. Okay, there's everyone. All right.
The guys that I talked to, the podcast, we're just chilling. Me and Gary Vee having some conversations. On the podcast I listened to said that you should spend $50 to $100 if you plan on doing any kind of promoting, which I don't want to spend that much. So just for the record.
If you can't get it back, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let me just stick with that here. I tag a lot. I do. So in my posts, I tag as many people as possible. If you guys, you can do little hashtags and you can make things really, really, really small. So you can make them literally the size of a pinpoint. So you want to put as many in as possible because it's more chances that people are going to see your stuff. You can do up to 10 on your Instagram stories. So the more that you can do, the better, because it just gives you a better chance of people seeing your stories. And typically your stories leads into them seeing your feed too. So it's like the best of both worlds.
You mean tagging or hashtagging?
Hashtagging.
In your stories?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I've done like 30.
Can you? I thought it was 10, but that's good to know.
I always do 30 and it lets me. I think I've maybe done 100 once. I think because I just like copied my whole hashtag thing and I put it in there, but it made my picture blurry. So I think it like can mess up. Like, so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to stay. My brain is like, I'm always slow.
Shay had a question really quick while you're doing that. She said, do you have your Instagram hooked to your Facebook page?
No. No. Hi, Shay.
And she just asked me, you asked me too, do you suggest having a legit Facebook page for business to outside of person? Okay, now I will say that just like Christy said, algorithms are changing. I will say that honestly, if I didn't have a business Facebook page, I probably wouldn't start one right now. I have one and I have 50,000 people following me. I don't know if those are Beachbody coaches or if they're friends or who they are, but I will know that for me, I don't invest as much time as I used to on my Facebook like page. I literally, for me, I will just duplicate my posts there. But I used to like do events on my Facebook page. I used to like pay for ads. I don't do any of that anymore because I've seen a huge shift. Even like Melanie Mitro, #1 coach, obviously, a couple other coaches who were heavy like page, they've said they've all gone to Instagram just because things have changed and algorithms have changed, especially when Instagram and Facebook merged together. Something really changed, even for me. So I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. I wish that I would have had my Instagram connected to my personal Facebook, but because I already had a business account, my Instagram now connects to my Facebook business, and I wish it didn't. So I would say if you don't have a like page, I honestly would invest my time into Instagram. Personally, as someone who's done everything at this point, I've also blogged, done all of it, I would say focus your time heavily on Instagram and on your personal Facebook page. That's your warm market.
Yeah, my people are totally different. So I didn't post on Facebook because I had work people on there. So I never I didn't really get going with it. And then I don't really honestly like Facebook that much, but I actually enjoy Instagram. So if I'm going to spend majority of my time somewhere, I'm going to do it somewhere that I like being. So that's just me. One last thing that I think is really helpful for me, and this is just a side note, if you notice when you interact with people, you'll see more of their posts come up in your feed. So I think what has helped me as well is if I have people that I want to see me, I have a list of, like every month I create like a top 10 of people that I want to interact with. And usually it's people that I'm trying to court and date. I know we've heard a lot about that. That's not like news to a lot of you guys, but anybody I'm trying to date on Instagram to try to get them to either know more about me or see more about me, I'll go in and interact with them, because the way the algorithm usually works is if you go in and interact with them, they see more of your stuff. So take advantage of that too. So if you have people that you want to get to either join as a challenger or join as a coach, the more you interact with them, the more likely they are to see your stuff. So if you are doing call to actions and things on your posts, there's a good chance that they're going to see them, and the algorithm is going to help you out.
And I agree with what you said on, I think it was my Instagram training like a month ago, I talked about that, like pick 5 to 10 people, 5 to 10 people that are coach potentials. I say coach potentials personally. That's where I put a lot of my emphasis. So I said on the training, just like Christy said, is pick 5 to 10 people on Instagram and like love on them, like secretly court them and they don't know it for like a solid month. Like love on their IG stories, love on their posts, like 5 to 10. I would say 10 if you really want more growth, 5 for sure. And you can even save them in the collections. So like you can even put like August. These are my 10 people for August. And you can make a collection on Instagram. So these are my 10 people I got to love on. And then you can have your September, and you can just keep creating collections for each month. So you don't have to like have follow up somewhere else for Instagram. It's like all on Instagram, because I know for me, I don't want to have to track all my Instagram stuff. So if you just collect their pictures in little folders, it's really nice as well.
And just one last thing, and then if you guys have any questions, but the one thing that's really helped me, and this is just me personally, it works for my people, is I do a lot of polls, and I do not just polls for Beachbody stuff, but I do polls for everything, and I keep them in my highlights. And I saw somebody random do it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of a cool idea, because you can go through and see what people thought about stuff. But really for you, it's really nice for 2 reasons. One, if you do I have good luck with polls with Beachbody stuff. So when yesterday I did a story, and it was just, I talked about Lift 4, I did my workout, and I showed my workout slides, and then at the end again, I did another poll. So for people who were watching and didn't do the first poll, I had another one after, like, hey, are you ready now? And I had pretty good luck on both of them. And so when you swipe up, it keeps all of your people there. So, but it disappears if you don't save it. So to have a space for your polls is really nice, because then later on you can go back and reference this stuff. And even if it's not a Beachbody topic, but let's say it's just a tough month and you're having a hard time finding people or connecting to people, the people that are commenting or that are answering your polls are typically engaged people. Like they have some vested interest in you or your account or whatever. It's very rare that some jerk is answering your polls, unless they just are a jerk. But those are good people to go back and have conversations with too. So I use polls for the business sense to gain traction, but also for good interactions with people as well. So I keep that in my highlights and my stories if you want to look at it.
Like that one. Having highlights, if you don't have highlights like you saw in Christy's, she has little bubbles. That's a really good way to save your, important, like she said, she saves her polls. Or if you have a really, really great call to action post and you want to save it, you can do that. I actually have, I have some like hers for different things as well, but that's a great way to save posts that you can go back to an invite. You can always invite from those stories that people are watching. So I like the poll idea. I never thought about saving those, so that's a good idea. Okay.
I'm going to just copy and paste the all the podcasts that I listen to into the chat. Okay. And then when you post the Zoom, I'll do it again just in case people, don't see it from here. But
fabulous. So anyone have questions? I have some questions that I'm going to ask after everyone asks their questions, just because I'm looking at the clock. Okay. Anyone have questions for Christy? Anything at all regarding Instagram? No questions?
Your minds are just blown right now. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like deer in headlights. Like, oh my gosh, holy moly! If you have questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask if you want. Don't be afraid. I see Shay. Okay, go talk. I unmuted you.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I might have missed this. I apologize. I know you said that you schedule or you post at 3:00 in the afternoon or so. Do you schedule those? Or can you schedule with Instagram where it just posts at 3 every day?
Yeah, Plan will do both for you. It can schedule your stories and your posts. So you can set it for a certain time once you have it all set up. There's a lot of different, there's a lot of apps that you can use for that. I use Plan and I like it, but it's really, if you want to, yeah, you definitely can. And you should if you're a busy person.
Okay, thank you.
Christy, did you compare it to Planoli? Is that what it's pronounced? Planoli? That's another.
I think I just caught it at a weird time. I wasn't really into it, so I didn't do a lot of digging. I have them both, but Plan kind of, actually, you know what? Jenna Kutcher is one of the podcasts I put on there, the Gold Digger podcast. I love her, and she talks Plan up all the time, so her marketing totally worked on me.
Yeah.
And I fell for it, but it's worth it.
Did you put your stuff in the chat box? I don't see it.
Oh, I sent it to Alyssa.
Oh, come on. Share the info. Okay. So I'm going to go through my questions, and maybe this will answer some questions that other people have, because I was just typing as you were going. I'm just going to do a recap and question at the same time. So you only post once a day. You post usually in the afternoon based off of your insights. So remember, people, this is off of Christy's insights. So if you don't have the business, get it. But you post once a day. Very little call to actions. You have very little call to actions in your post. How many call to actions do you have per week? So if you say you have seven posts in a week, one per day, do you think one of them is a call to action? One.
I do, but my stories, I will at least post my workout, if not something in my stories every day.
Every day. Yep. Okay. Perfect. Next is, so you post once a day on Instagram. How many call to actions? Ask that. Every single time you make your post, you're committed to 30 to 60 minutes of engagement and interaction on Instagram after the fact. Okay. I know you said you don't care about hashtags, but do you rotate your hashtags?
I rotate 5 to 10. So I have set ones that I keep based on just ones that are mom, ones that are business. And then today I put Tuesday stuff and things that are relevant to that day, or Owen stuff or whatever, stroller crew. And
okay. So you intermingle. So your 3 things that you said, mom, food, goals, and fitness. You have a mom and mom and fitness hashtags, and then you throw in some extra freebies that relate to the post. Okay. Next thing, in your post that you make every day, do you ask questions? Do you always ask a question in one of your posts when you make them? to create engagement?
I would say if I post every single day, 5 out of 7 have a question or like some kind of way to respond.
Perfect. Okay. Those are the only other questions I picked up. That was fabulous. That was so awesome. I loved it. The crazy thing is like, I think there's a few things that you pick up and you hear. It's like, I love Jen Richardson. She is someone she's a Beachbody coach, and I love her. And she does something similar to you, but then she has a couple other things she does that I know are not working for me personally. Like I do some of her method, but then other aspects don't work for me. So I'm interested just to even apply some of these to mine just to see what happens for the growth, because, and I could say I have almost 20,000, I think I have almost 20,000 followers, but I'm not, I have almost 20,000 followers, but that's like, I think I have a lot of Beachbody coaches probably. But I mean, I don't get 1,000 likes. So that's where I will say to all of you, it's not about how many followers you have. And it's not about that. It's about getting people to see your stuff. It doesn't really matter how many people you have following you. Just ignore that. It's about getting people to see your content. Like that to me is what's most important than anything else. It's getting people to obviously have 1,000 people liking a picture. That means that you're doing your job to love and to interact with other people and get it back on your page. So those were awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited to apply some to my IG skills.
The big difference for me, I had like 10, and I know I'm telling you guys, like, just don't be awkward about it. It's not weird. You're just following these people, but you have to follow guys. Like you just have to, because you need to diversify yourself enough where you are getting more engagement. And I mean, it's not like they'll get a couple of creepy guys and you just block them and move on. But you will notice a difference. For me, I did no guys. I wanted none on my page, not even any of them, because I was like, that's weird. I don't need them. I'm female. I want females. You need it for engagement. So
yeah. I get the diversity. I think it's easy, like you said, you look at your page and you see mom, foodie, fitness. Those are the people you want to attract. But, I will say this, that some hashtags are very snobby. I hate to say that, but sometimes when you get into a very, very small group of people, they're very difficult to give love. I mean, and I say that because I've looked at a lot of hashtags. And it's true, like you got to get more diverse. I mean, it's because you want to stay in your brand, but then you almost have to get out of your brand to get those people. I mean,
that's why I think that it works it seems to work of the liking somebody and then liking their people, because you have no idea who these people are. And like I said, you can like companies and you can like things that aren't just your people. And you don't have to keep them. You can delete them later whenever you want. That's your call. You don't have to keep them like I do. But you'll find people in there and you'll get more engagement. I guarantee it, or your money back.
Yeah, money back. So let's put some money in the pot, Christy, and you'll give us our money back.
$3.99 training. Yeah. No, but I would love to hear what you guys think. And if you have more questions once you kind of get going or whatever, feel free to message me. I would love to help however I can. I'm still trying to figure it out. If I come up with some magic, I'll let you guys know, but that's what's helped me so far. And it's helped me like big time. So.
Yeah. And I would say this too, the one thing that she opened with is that Instagram takes time. Instagram takes time. Like it just does. I mean, I can say specifically Christy and Alyssa, I talked to for a solid year on Instagram before they said yes. A solid year. Some other people are quicker. Jalissa, Stephanie, you guys are from Instagram on my end. Shay, we connected, but it wasn't like I directly invited you. But I mean, Instagram takes time. I mean, I had one of my coaches, Allison Klotz, she's on here. I invited her within 24 hours. She said yes. You just have to keep doing your part to stay in front of people, but just know it takes time to create momentum on Instagram. So my call to action to all of you is look at all of these tips that Christy gave to you and figure out what you can do and commit to it. Like for the next month solid. So maybe you can't do 25 to 50 a day. Maybe you can't do 500. Like she said, she does a total of 500 a week. Maybe you can't do that, but maybe you can do 10. So pick a number that you can do. Say, okay, I'm going to follow 10 new people every single day or 20 and stick with that. And I want you to give it a solid month. And what you can do is screenshot your phone tonight, screenshot it, see how many people you have following you and people you're following, and then commit to it a solid month. And then a month from now, take another picture and see where your growth has happened. And you'll be surprised if you're consistent with it. But I would say with Instagram, you got to give it like 3 to 6 months of consistent work. And I know you're probably like, what? That's why I also say do Facebook, because Instagram does take time. Awesome tips. I love it. Make sure to check out her different podcasts that she posted below. Check those out. Those look pretty awesome. I'm excited. And thank you so much, Christy. That was fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing. You're amazing. And I will post this recording. I just have to let it upload, transcribe. I'll put it on YouTube, and then I will share it to our page. It will be in the coach family file section of the recorded calls. Make sure to tag your coaches if they missed it, because you want them to watch this. It's tangible tools that you can apply to your business, to your Instagram today to have growth. And obviously, Christy's a 1-star diamond qualifying coach, so she's doing something pretty darn fabulous. So thanks again, Christy. Thank you all for being on here. And that's it. Bye, you guys.